Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome here to the Golf Race Fuels Racing Zone, presented by Stone Ridge Specialty Insurance, where we are at the Motorama Custom Car and Motorsports Expo and streaming live on TrackTune. We're here to talk about the Ontario Legend Car Series now, joined by some drivers. We have Parker Traves and Hailey McNicol. Andrew McFadden is on his way as well. So I guess for both of you, first of all, what are you most looking forward to about the 2026 season?
Just racing with all the good cars we have in the series and hopefully winning some races.
I'm really excited to get out back with the guys again and start racing, and just hopefully try and place better, and yeah.
So for the Ontario Legend Car Series, I know it's definitely, it's a type of racing that has this sort of links to the States. We see a lot of racers coming up through those cars, and they have quite a unique look as well. So what you guys like most about Legend Car racing in general and the Ontario Legend Car Series in particular?
With the Ontario Legend Car Series, I really like the tracks that we travel to, and just the atmosphere itself. We're with a bunch of really great guys, and it's always a good time. Everybody's good to race with. We race hard, but we race clean. And the Legend Cars themselves, I love how universal they are. You can go down to the States and run and not have to change a thing on the cars. Or, you can run up here and, they're pretty cool cars.
Yeah, basically what Hailey said, all the cars are the same, so it comes up to the driver. And we have such a good series up here. We can race up here, then go down south and run up front too.
For Parker, I know you won the overall championship 2022 to 23, also last year in the Pro Series Championship, and you've raced in some of those events down south. So how would you describe sort of these past experiences, being able to race competitively and win titles in these Legend Cars?
Racing lots, like that helps. So racing lots and racing down south makes us better. So the series is good, very competitive, so yeah.
So joined now by Andrew McFadden coming on as well. And I guess, so I'll start with what I already asked sort of Parker and Hailey about. What you like most about Legend Cars in general and this Ontario Legend Car Series in particular?
Sorry, I've been stuck in traffic, so I'm a little bit late showing up with you guys. So yeah, Legend Cars in general. Oh, man, Legend Cars in Ontario is like the gospel for motorsports. Everybody knows what Legend Cars is. Everybody knows we love them. We got two different series between the Great Lakes Series and the Ontario Series. We have marquee events like our Delaware Speedway opener, the ACC in October. Image Wraps, the Camerath family put on a deal to bash at the beach up there at Sauble. That's always a big deal. And of course the Frost Fest at Flamborough is it's a big hit for our guys, and everywhere we go, people are like, "Oh, we know those cars, we love those cars," and it's very difficult to put things together, as spec series are, but it's definitely one of the icons here in Ontario for sure.
And for you, Andrew, you've been racing this for a while, I believe about a decade and a half in these Legend Cars, and you got your first career win, of course, in one of the biggest events, the Autumn Colors Classic last fall. So what was that experience like?
Oh, yeah, that was unbelievable. Yeah, we've been involved now for almost 20 years, and my wife and I were out at Hydro last night in the snowstorm, and we come up with the idea that if this schedule goes as planned this year, we're going to do our 300th start at the ACC this year, which is a lot of racing. And we kind of really didn't piece it all together until we sat there in the dark last night. We're like, wow, you're going to do 300 events. We've had 300 starts over the past 20 years. So yeah, when we got that first one, I was super excited because Cole was in that, my son in the 20 car, and Gibson Baker was in there also, the 00 car. And those are some guys that they're the top of their game there. And I started ahead of them, so I kind of cheated, but all I thought the whole night was just staying there. And Robin was on the radio there with me, and he all of a sudden went silent because he's like, I didn't want to say a word and throw off your focus there. But yeah, we were able to pull it off. And I said to the flag guy there, Dave, at Peterborough Speedway, I was like, let me give a lap on this thing. Like, let me give a lap. I've been on a lot of laps here, and I haven't got one of these before. And he's like, no, man. He says, I totally get it. We're cheering for you, but we got to carry on. And I get the schedule with that. But yeah, there's at some point when you race as much as my family does, and you sometimes often wonder if you're ever going to get one. And then, but I had my gun set there that night that I was going to get that one, and then the rain delay put us off a bit, and it ended up being the next day. And I did get a good night's sleep that night, and I was still in the same mindset the next morning, and I was like, oh yeah, this one, I got this one. And I told them all before we went, I can see into the future just a little bit off to the side, and I was like, but I got this one, so you boys got to be on your game. But I was able to get one, yeah. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get another one, but I got one. And sometimes that's all that matters.
And some drivers tried their entire career for an autumn colors and can never say that they won that. So you do have that particular trophy as well.
Around 2008, 2007, I met a fellow by the name of Bill Mason, who was an icon in the sport, Legends Ontario, and he said the same thing: race and race and race, and you may never get one, but if you do, just enjoy every moment that it has to offer, and let the passion absorb it for sure.
Definitely, and you mentioned you've raced with your son, and definitely quite a family sport here. We know, Hailey, that your dad, Kenny McNicol's, raced legend cars and won the championship a couple of times in the Great Lakes Legends Series. So, you know, coming in as the next generation racer, having someone in your household who has that experience, what have you been able to learn from racing and working with your dad?
I learned a lot from my dad and racing with him and growing up over the years at the track with him. But honestly, he's the hardest person for me to learn from. I don't like to listen to him much. But he always tries and gives me advice and whatnot. But the best thing for him to do is he'll go to somebody else like Parker or Dawson, and he'll tell them what he wants to tell me, and I'll listen to them any day of the week. But my dad, I don't know why, I just can't listen to him.
At least he's got a strategy figured out there.
He'll go tell Parker to tell me whatever he wants, and Parker will tell me, oh, Hailey, you got to do this, you got to do that, or he'll tell Dawson that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I can do that, yeah. But,
you ever mess with that, what he's telling you to pass along?
No, Kenny would kick my ass.
So the other cool thing here, in mentioning that Great Lakes Legends as well as the Ontario Legend Car Series here, is that we have some of those events where there's a combined grid and the race together, and there are a lot of legend cars. I remember being up at Sauble Speedway for the Civic Weekend Clash, and you can really pack a track with all these when you have those two fields together. So for all three of you, and I guess we'll start with Parker, what's the biggest challenge and what you like most about those combined events?
Definitely just how many cars show up. We can get 30, 35, 40 cars, and no other series shows up in Ontario with that many cars. So that, and it's just hard because the speed difference in everybody, we have to navigate traffic different when we run those combined races, and it's a good thing, though.
Hailey?
I really like that when we have that many cars show up and whatnot, like when we get the 36, 40 cars, you have to race your way into the event. So, I mean, sometimes you have a bad night and you could be one of the fastest guys there and still not make it into the event, but then it kind of shows your skill level and where you're at and when you have to race your way into the event. So I like that. It's always a challenge trying to make the A main in the night and whatnot. But like Parker said, it's everybody, we kind of have groups. So like we got some real fast guys. We got some guys who aren't super slow by no means, but run in the mid-pack. And then we got our slower guys who are still learning and whatnot, and that's perfectly fine. But it's kind of nice. I find I have more cars to run with when we do the combined events and whatnot. So, yeah, it's fun.
And Andrew, the same?
I like when you can show up and you have 35 plus teams there. I like the way the qualifying lies out. It doesn't often work in your favor, and I've started at the back of those big fields and been like, there's no chance I'm going to make it up there. But I've also, because of that layout, I've had some good runs in Bs also. And you can watch any type of motorsports on the television, and B mains are a thing. When you got an important series, you're going to have B mains. And that gives you, I say it gives you one more opportunity for more laps and basically try to better your game while you're there. So I love the big events. There's nothing better than showing up at a track somewhere and there's hundreds of cars there, hundreds of people, and a good 35-plus lineup. I love it.
Yeah, so definitely, and as you guys been mentioning, a chance to race with more, have more of those side-by-side battles. So I guess, on a weekend and week-out basis, how would you three describe the competition in the Ontario Legend Car Series?
I think that, did I cut you off? Sorry, Parker. I think that in Ontario here, I think we have some of the best because we've had folks travel down south towards like Charlotte. They're running the cookout down there. We've had people out on the west coast. We've had people out on the east side do some specials as well. We went to a special up in the UP there of Michigan a few years ago, Whittemore Speedway, and every time one of our guys, Ontario guys, was taken to the track, we were setting new track records. I think there was 8 of us that made the tour up there. It's a bit of a hike up there. But that kind of was the door open to say that our guys got it going on. We can take our guys, regardless of where they finish on a regular basis. With the high-end competition, I think it just builds the stamina that we need to get better. And we can travel all over the continent, and our teams are fast. We got our stuff together, and our teams are good.
Yeah, definitely what Andrew said. You got Mitch, he's racing down in the States this year, and he won there in Florida, and Dawson, he runs up front, and myself, and Jake Waltz, he's coming up and coming, so he'll be good too.
Anything to add, Hailey, on that?
No, kind of. I agree with both of them said. We got a lot of good competition in the Ontario Legends, and yeah.
Other thing for the 3 of you, being a touring series, races at quite a variety of tracks here across the province. So, what is your favorite track, and what do you like most about it?
My favorite track, Sunset Speedway. Unfortunately, it's closed up this year, but Sunset's the best, and my next would be Sauble.
My favorite track is definitely Sauble Speedway. I always do the best there. I feel most confident and comfortable running at Sauble. I've ran a lot of laps there, but yeah, I would have to say Sauble's definitely my favorite track to run at.
I'm going to go with the shorter version. I like Full Throttle at Varney. I think if you're not shitting your pants when you go down that hill into turn 3, then you ain't doing it right, because that is certainly. I like going fast too, but when you're at full throttle, you feel like you are absolutely driving an F-18 fighter jet, and I think that's the pick for me. Definitely.
And I think that's a good, shows the variety of tracks in the series, the fact that we have a different track for each of you, so that sort of shows right there plenty of good places to race for this series. So I guess we got about a minute or 2 left here. So finally, for all 3 of you, where can people follow your racing efforts throughout the season?
You can follow me on Facebook at Hailey McNicol Racing. On Instagram, it's Hailey McNicol_racing, or also on Facebook, we have McNicol Motorsports page and the Gearbox Girl.
You can follow our guys at Grassroots Motorsport Park. That's on the Instagram. And on Facebook as well. You can pick up Cole McFadden there. You can pick up myself there. We got all kinds of stuff going on through the events throughout the summer. So, yeah, check it out at grassroots.com.
And you can follow me at Parker Traves Setup and Development on Facebook.
All right, Parker Traves, Hailey McNicol, and Andrew McFadden, racers here in the Ontario Legend Car Series, looking ahead to the 2026 season. Thank you for speaking with me.
Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the show.